Hello friends, I am Professor Sunita SHIRSAT. You are most welcome in my channel. Please, if you like my channel, please subscribe it. Okay. Today we have new poets M.A.II. Um, and his poem Man and God. His writings devoted to the revival of Islam encourage Muslims to embrace ideals of brotherhood, justice, and service. The Song of Eternity, written in 1932, similar in theme to Dante's Divine Comedy, relates his ascent through all realms of thought and experience, guided by 13th century poet Jalaluddin Rumi. He freed the Muslim mind from prevailing colonial mentality and from narrow self-interest. Also reflected in Tolu-e-Islam, that is Rise of Islam. Then, which are his poems and work? Bang Edara, written in 1924. First written Persian, later translated into Urdu. It is he wrote anthology of poems divided into three parts. Bal-e-Jibrail, written in 1935. Gabriel's Wing continues from Bang Idara, contains 15 ghazals addressed to God and 61 ghazals and 22 quatrains dealing with the ego, faith, love, knowledge, the intellect, and freedom. Zarb a Kalim, written in 1936. That is a collection of Urdu poems described as his political manifesto. He published with the subtitle. It is published with the subtitle "Declaration of War Against the Present Times." The blow of Moses' staff meant to rescue Muslims from the ills of modern civilization. Armagam-e-Hijaz, which is published a few months after his death, containing verses in Persian and Urdu. The title means gift from the Hijaz. His prose works are, first is here, The Reconstruction of Religious Thought in Islam, written in 1930, Religion versus Philosophy, to Embrace or Exclude, The Development of Metaphysics in Persia, written in 1908, Summary of Iqbal's 1930 Presidential Address. He has presented his concept of khudi, that's ego. Significance of the self in an individual is the source through which we can bring ourselves closest to the ultimate. Like Soren Kierkegaard, that is Danish philosopher, for Iqbal, self emerges as a vital entity in the individual, energetic and productive. Vitalism renders the self an internal dynamic activity with intensity of violation, feeling and thought. Continued. For Iqbal, man is the caretaker of all possibilities of life. In a verse, he says, Your nature is caretaker of the possibilities of life. Self in individual is speculative, possesses a sharp insight that sees the whole, sees not merely the observable part of an object, but the whole of it. In the subjective intensification, that is inner individual of existence, truth comes to be in the life of an individual. Iqbal says, dive into your own self. It is the very secret of life. Iqbal's concept of self with regard to collective self is similar that of Hegel. Iqbal's idea of collective self, an individual self or universal self, and individual self highlights full scope of self. Self is synthesis of ideality and reality, infinitude, finitude, possibility, necessity, eternity and time, universality and individuality. The individual self derives attitude attributes from all embracing ego. Role of self in this world is constructive and fight against destructive forces, activity of one's first self towards right direction that can achieve perfection and becomes an authentic self. In his poem Farewell to the World, that means we can say in his poem Man and God, he has given a relation between man and God. When truth has no burning, then it is philosophy. When it gets burning from the heart, it becomes poetry. Okay, that means narrator has written this. The philosophical basis of Asar-i-Khudi. Iqbal believes that experience should take in finite centers and should wear the form of finite thisness in its in the explicable. The ego attains to freedom by the removal of all observation in its way. The finite center is only an appearance, all life is individual. There is no such thing as universal fundamental fact. God Himself is an individual. He is the most unique individual. In Iqbal's view, orderliness and adjustment is not eternally achieved, but it is a gradual traveling from chaos to cosmos. There can be no complete truth about the universe because the universe has not yet become complete. The process of creation still going on. In Iqbal's views, the moral and religious ideal of man is not self-negation but self-affirmation, and he attains to this ideal by becoming more and more unique. The prophet said, "Create in yourself the attribute of God." Thus, man becomes unique by becoming more and more like the most unique individual. Life is individuality and its highest form is ego, in which the individual becomes a self contained exclusive center. The greater his distance from God, the less his individuality. He who comes near God is the completest man, the true person, not absorbs the matter, but he absorbs God in himself and into his ego. Then a narrator has given the relation between ego and continuation of personality. In man, center of life becomes an ego or person. Personality is the state of tension. If that state of tension is not maintained, relaxation will ensue, which turns a man into common being. Here, Iqbal gives us the concept that the idea of personality gives us a standard of value. It settles the problem of good and evil. Art, religion, and ethics must be judged from the standpoint of personality. For freedom of ego, we have to face the problem of matter, and in connection with its immortality, we have to face the problem of time. Pure time has no length, and personal immortality is an inspiration. The true nature of time is reached when we look into our deeper self. The true essence of life is self realization, according to Iqbal. In reality, human beings are timeless, and it's possible to realize about this timelessness even in this life through revelation, and that can be momentary. Thank